back to my channel. Today we're filming a moving to a new state Q&A. As some of y'all know, my husband and I just moved from California to Texas about 6 or 7 months ago, so we're definitely well adjusted now. We're pretty much settled, and I feel like we're ready to answer some questions that y'all have about that big move. So I'm just gonna go ahead and jump right into it. So the first question is, hi, did you use a moving company? How did you move all your things? So we actually didn't use a moving company this time just because there was some occurrences that happened when trying to plan with that, and it just didn't really work out for us, which is okay for this time because we didn't really have that much stuff initially, just like wedding gifts and a couple bins of clothing each. So we didn't really have much to move with. So we didn't use a moving company this time. We just loaded up both of our cars, and Diego's big sister loaded up her truck. Like, all of our vehicles were packed with everything, and the three of us just made the drive out here, and that's how we did it this time. But next time we move, we're definitely going to need like a U-Haul or something because now we have like furniture and stuff, so yeah. Okay, so another question says, what is the best part about moving to a new state? What didn't you like? So I think the best part about moving to a new state was meeting all the new people here. Particularly in Texas too, everyone is super nice for the most part. So that's been great. Everyone I've encountered for the most part has been amazing. So that's super nice. All the people were definitely a highlight. Just Waco itself is a pretty nice area just because it's like, it's really big here in Waco, but it still has like a community feel to it, and I really enjoy that. What didn't you like? Being away from family is really hard. I'm super close with my parents, and I'm close with my brother, and you know, just being away from them is actually really hard because I'm used to just constantly being with my parents. They're like my best friends. I tell them everything, and so not being there to fill them in on every detail of my daily life anymore is a little bit hard. It has to be via FaceTime now. And like my little brother, you know, who's like my late night hangout buddy where we'd like go watch a movie or something or play a game and catch up and talk to each other, and I really miss stuff like that. So I'd say that was the thing I didn't like about moving to a new state, was being so far from family. Someone asked for the difference between both of the states. I would say there's a pretty big difference between California and Texas for a bunch of reasons. I think, just like I said, my biggest thing is that the people here are so nice. Like, my parents were both raised in the South, so I was very much brought up with that whole Southern hospitality thing, and a lot of the things I say and do, like the way I talk and act, like those mannerisms, all come from my parents who grew up in the South, and all of my family is from here. So for me, it's nice because everyone here kind of acts the way I do and communicates the way I do. So like if you're walking down the street and you smile and wave at a stranger just because you make eye contact, they do it back and also see that as polite. Whereas like in California, I feel like if you see a stranger and you smile and wave, they kind of like, you know, sometimes flip you off, or they're just like, why are you talking to me? So it's really different culturally in that way. But I will say something I love about California that Waco doesn't really have going on is the scenery. It's so ugly here. Like, it's just so dry and dead, like everywhere. And in California, at least where I was from, like, California is just beautiful. You know, like, you can go a few hours this way and be in the mountains, a few hours that way, be at the beach. Beaches and mountains galore to choose from. There are hills and back roads and just nature everywhere that's so beautiful, and here there's none of that. It's kind of ugly. So those are some differences between the states for sure. Someone asked, what was the process like trying to find a place when moving out there? Did you find a place beforehand or after you got there? So we found a place beforehand. I mean, I felt like it was important to have a place to go to in mind. I wasn't really into like blindly moving and then like, you know, living in a hotel or something like that. That's a huge like financial waste and kind of stressful to me. So for a few months before. Like, I think I started house hunting in like, we got engaged in November. I started house hunting in like January, February. Because I knew it was important. Obviously having a place to live is a pretty big deal. So I kind of took charge of that because Diego, you know, he's pre-med, he was a little busy. So I took charge of that and kind of started house hunting. We were looking at apartments, houses, townhouses, like all that stuff. And this house just kind of quite literally fell into our laps one day. So that's a whole nother story. If y'all want a story on like how we got this house, it definitely a God thing, definitely a God thing. But yeah, I just kind of started looking beforehand. I got on Zillow, Realtor.com, like a bunch of those apps, and typed in our general area. We knew we wanted to be close to campus for Diego, so I just searched the general area and looked through, it popped up, and we got a place and signed for it before moving, which was also a little bit scary though because we didn't see it in person, right? So we were kind of just moving halfway across the country and trusting these photos that we saw online. So it was a little bit scary, but it all worked out, so it's all good. Did you ever visit Waco before moving there? No. So our first day seeing Waco was on August 1st when we moved into our place, actually. We'd never seen it before. We had heard about it because of things like Baylor and Magnolia, like Fixer Upper, all that stuff, but no, we'd never been to Waco. I'd been to Texas before, like a bunch of times, because like I said, all my family lives here. My grandma's in one area, I have a bunch of family in other areas. So I had been to Texas before, but never Waco. So it was brand new to both of us when we got here. We had never seen it, but like I said, we really like it, so it's a good thing. Did you both have jobs before moving there, or did you find jobs once you were there? We both had jobs already. I had already gotten my job lined up as a nanny. Again, I started that like months before the wedding because that's kind of a big deal. It's kind of important. I didn't want to just blindly move and then be like, now that I'm here, how do I get my life together? Which you totally can do. I mean, I've seen it work for other people, so that's totally, if you want to do that, God will provide. But I was a little more dependent on a plan. I wanted a plan. So I had my job as a nanny lined up months prior, and then that switched last second on my honeymoon, and I got a different job as a nanny, which is the current one that I'm obsessed with. So that's also a whole nother story time. I'll have to tell you guys that. Oh my goodness, yeah, I'll tell you that. I'll do a care.com horror story for y'all, okay? But yes, I had a job lined up already, and Diego just got transferred out here with Target, so. Was it hard to move out there with Luna? So, I don't know. Luna is still living with my parents currently because our landlord doesn't like pets, which is unfortunate, but they charge a really, really absurd monthly pet rental fee, so I'm not about to pay that. So Luna's kind of hanging out with my parents for the couple years that we're here before we eventually go wherever we go, for Diego's like med school and residency and all of that jazz that is so crazy to think about. But yeah, Luna's hanging out with my parents a little bit longer. She will be coming to live with me though as soon as I can get my hands on her because I miss her so much. When I went home at Christmas time, it was almost like she remembered me, you guys. Well, obviously she remembered me, but I was scared that she wouldn't because it had been a few months, and I got there and she was just purring and jumping all over me, and it made me feel so good. And my dad tells me that she goes and lays in my bed in my room every day and walks around and sniffs like she's looking for me. I'm gonna cry, so I'm gonna stop talking about it. Alright, that was all of the questions that y'all asked me about moving to a new state. If you have any more, let me know. I wouldn't mind doing a part 2 to this, but it's pretty straightforward. I loved answering y'all's questions, and let me know down below if you liked this video, what you want to see more of. Go ahead and give it a like, subscribe, and check out that description box. I have a bunch of stuff linked down below that you don't want to miss, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye!